Right, let's start with standing, sitting a little wider. Arms down by your sides. Thumbs on your thighs. We're going to open outwards and then inwards. Out and in. And your arms, sort of either at the front, they could be at your sides here. They don't need to be behind you. Just that opening out and in. As you open out, just feel a little bit more width across the chest. That's it. Now, as you're doing that, you know, I normally say tap behind your head and pull your head back. Your arms are busy at the moment, so they can't do that. If you want a sneaky one and you just want to give your head a little reminder. Yeah, lots of you do. I know, I do as well. I like it. So it's such a good one, just to pull back slightly and get the chins in. And it's not all the chins, it's about 2/3 of the chins. I mean, if you don't want to do the maths, it's about 3. And now that you've got that, a turn of the head as you spiral those thumbs back. Now you can go really softly on this. Your arms could be slightly bent, or you can reach down further and make your arms longer and more extended. It's more of a pressing down of the shoulder blades rather than any sort of extending forwards. So we've got this alternate turn of the head. Gorgeous. And then come back to the center. And just start to give your shoulders with your arms close to you, a little wriggle each side. That's it. Now, if there's anything going on with your shoulders today, I normally say keep your arms close to you and keep them shorter. If you're okay with your shoulders today, you might let them grow longer arms and slightly further away from your sides, and you might still be doing one at a time, or you might do both together.
I need to go out.
And then a little softer in your legs if you're standing. So letting your knees go forwards a little bit, like your suspension's just dropped slightly. If you're sitting, just sitting slightly away from whatever's behind you, just so you've got a little bit of room for pelvic tilts. That's where we're doing it. So pelvic tilts. So you can use, I like to hug my belly at the front and just sort of scoop it back to me. You might have your hands on your hips. You might just be doing it sitting or standing. If you're sitting, you can think about being on your sit bones and then dropping back more onto your bum and then rolling forwards more onto your thighs. I can see that happening absolutely beautifully. Very nice. And one more. Give it a little wriggle. Moving downwards into the feet. We've just worked all the way sort of down the body. So now looking at your toes and giving your toes a lift and a spread as far as they will do. That's it. And then I'm going to give you slightly different things. So we've got the option first of rocking, and you have your arms anywhere that supports you. If you're standing, they're generally wider. If you're sitting, they're probably more comfortable here, just because of sort of how the weight of arms falls and the different positions you're in. So that is one option. Other option is to keep your hips still and do a heel raise alternating sides. Now, the easiest way to do this is to let everything move and just go a bit sort of wibbly at each side, let the hips do everything, and then go, no, now they're not going to do anything. Now it's just the points of the knees going forwards. If you're sitting, it's still the points of the knees, but it doesn't look as, if I do this standing, you can see there's loads of knee going forwards. But when you do it sitting, not much difference to see. It's more the thigh going up. But if that's not working for your feet, stay with the rocking. And you can always mix up the two. That's it. And then we might take our rocking in circular directions if you're rocking. And if you're doing your heel raises, we're going to double and go up and down for both. And you could add a little bump and put a little impact through your system if you're comfortable doing that. If you're not comfortable doing it, keep it softer. You know when you're doing it right, because everything goes boo. Gorgeous. And last one. And then the arms are coming in, elbows are in, they're in this L shape. I think of it as train arms, this one. The hands, they're just spaced equally opposite each other. This isn't going to change this distance. It's not going to do that. It just stays as it is. You can relax your hands if you want to. Give your shoulders a little wriggle, little circle. And then it's a soft squeeze down and back. We're not going very fast. It's not this. It's just a tiny little slide further sides. So if you've got things going on with your shoulders today and you want to keep it all in and close, this is where I'd like you to stay. So these hands are apart. These elbows are close in at your sides. You're just doing this little slide backwards and forwards. If things are okay in your shoulders, we're going to go for a little reach forwards, alternating sides. So just a little reach. You could do it with a flat hand. You could do it with a long hand. So we've got that alternating. Now, keep your body still and reach the arm forward. So now the shoulder blade is sliding round more. And the body's not doing that twisty thing. So not that, just that, a little resistance. And your back could be pressing against the chair behind you. It could just have the air behind you. That's it. Take it across slightly. Lovely. And then something much softer, something swishy. So take your legs wider. Now, if shoulders again, keep the arms low and close. Otherwise, they might go higher. They might go higher and go around the body and have a little fling onto your ribs and abdomen. I know some of you really like that. So you're doing all the different versions. Could be also if you're sitting, wider legs, sliding the hands. You all know the moves. Perfect. I thought Marlo was going to do the moves then as well. It's got the tail wag. And then slow it down. Keep the legs a bit wider. Right, now we're going to just, whoa, that was a wobbly. Shift the weight. It's like a sort of side skate. Oh, I keep kicking the chair. I'm going to come forwards a little bit. Like you're sort of skating and the arms are going the opposite direction. If you're seated, I like to hold the chair or have my hands back on the cushion a little bit, because otherwise the weight's all going to go forwards and you don't fall off the chair. So we're just sort of shifting the weight side to side. That's it. Now, if you're doing this standing, you might let your bum drop a little lower and you're getting more like serious speed skating. And the arms just there at the front, and that's it. And you're sending your bum back, but you can keep it higher as well. Other things we can do is you could take your arms a little higher. They could be overhead. And you're just getting a bit of a whole side stretchy thing, but that's just an option. That's it. And you might make it bigger. And you might even do a little skippy leap if you want that. I'm just putting lots of options in. You're all doing different ones. That's perfect. And then come back to the center. Keep the legs wide. The feet can be out a little bit, but they're not out like that. So just have a little check where they've gone. And then we're going into a hip hinge. We're going to start if you're standing. If you've got any back issues today, put your hands on your thighs and use your thighs, because it's just giving your back a little bit of support. So that's one version. You're sending your bum back. Same if you're seated. If you've got back issues today, hands on the thighs and use your hands as a bit of support. If your back's feeling okay today, if you're standing, hands behind. And just keep the back straight, send your bum back. That's it, perfect. You can use the wall, have a little touch on it. If you're seated, hands on your chest. Hands on your behind, it sort of gets a bit sort of squashy with everything there. Perfect. Right, another option, if you want it now, you can take the arms in a different place. So if you're standing, they might come forwards. You might do that little prayer or the fists together, and they stay quite short. The longer they go, the heavier it is for your back. So if your back's feeling fine and you can put your arms forwards, and the higher they go, the heavier it all gets, that's okay. I find I can do one or two of those, but I can't do a lot. I can sort of mix it up a bit, but I can't do them all like that. That's it. And if you are seated, the arms going forwards suddenly gets a lot heavier in relation to where your body is. So offering your arms a little forwards or offering like a little bowl to somebody, that's a nice place. But arms straight out here, it's a lot of load for the position that your back's in. And a little push down on the floor. And last one. And then do something wiggly with your hips, something circly. Yeah, it could be a little side to side, could be a little dance, just something nice for your hips. And then we're going to take it into different sorts of roll downs. So you might do your traditional roll down if your back's feeling fine today. If you've got any spinal issues or osteopenia or osteoporosis, again, we go with hands on the thighs, that hip hinge, and then a pelvic tilt, and walk your hands up. You could also do a cat-cow on all fours, but that depends if your wrists and knees like it. But it's another way to put that wave through your spine that takes the strain.
Mm.
That's it. And let's do one more of whichever option you're doing, or just take a moment, take a break. We're going to transition in a moment to a different position. Good time to grab a drink. Cushions, any extra things that you want. Putting clothes on, taking clothes off, within reason. We are all on camera. Not quite in hot season. I know the weather is about to sort of heat up in the next sort of couple of weeks. I've just started finding tops that are going to work, like vesty things in advance. We're going to be lying on our backs, or you could stay seated. We'll do a little bit of breathing, a little breathing focus. The important thing at this point is to get yourself as comfortable as possible on whatever is supporting you. So cushions, props, balls, anything you want to put in somewhere that makes it feel nicer. Oh, Kimberly, you're going to put your legs on that. That looks nice. That is really fluffy. Just need to tilt you all down a little further. That's better. Right. Get comfy. Settle in. You might even be feeling the breeze above your body if you're lucky enough to be doing this outside. So a little bit of nature's best own elements coming through, and just having wriggles and sways. And anything you need to settle yourself in. You're right, Hazel. You disappeared before.
Yeah, power cut, and then the internet wouldn't come back.
Oh, goodness me, power cut.
Yeah, it was only like really brief,
A
but
little blip one.
yeah.
We've just changed position, so you might want to do a little bit, if you want to do a bit of lying, this might be the place to try it. Perfect. And then if you're comfortable enough to close your eyes, you can do. You could have your legs straight if you wanted to, especially if you're lying down. Or you could let your knees, if you've got your legs bent and your feet on the floor, you can let your knees just fall against each other so that they're just resting against each other. You haven't got to think about holding your legs up. Can be quite nice. Arms in a comfortable position for you. And then just starting to notice your breath. Not trying to change it, just notice where it is right now, what it's doing, how it feels. Where you feel it traveling in your body. How shallow, how deep. Using your nose if you can for your in-breath and your out-breath. Maybe resting your tongue at the top of your mouth with your tip of your tongue back from your front teeth. And then making it a little wider. You could put your hands on your ribs or the sides of your waist if you want something to feel, or a target. Just think about making yourself wider. It's like your t-shirt, your top's getting wider on the inhale and comes in a little on the exhale. But these are small changes. And then if your legs aren't bent, especially if you're lying down, if you could bend them now. And next time we exhale, we're just going to do a pelvic tilt. Just a small one, just tipping towards ourselves, so pubic bone towards nose, feeling your belly sink down, feeling your back dip down, and then rolling away again. If you're seated, feeling your waistband travel backwards, and that often on the hip bones. And just doing a few little rocks of your pelvis here. And then finding that in-between point where nothing's sinking down or arching away, just resting. If your knees are together, just part them slightly. And now you can let your hands go. And now we're back to any breath, just not thinking too much about our breath. But we're going to draw a circle with our tailbone. So think about your tailbone at the very end of your spine. And it's just going to start drawing a circle. It's quite a small movement, little wriggles. That's it. And then we're going to change direction. Lovely. And then rest it there. Arms going to be wider. So if you're on the chair, they're on your chair seat. If you're lying down, they're a little wider on the floor. It might be a T, or you might have them sort of by your side, but a bit of space. And now we're just going to let our legs sway and go onto the side edges of our feet, and then come back to the soles of our feet and sway over to the other side. But the shoulders stay where they are. Your bum and hips can start to move. That's it. If you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia, this is about the level of rotation you can stay at. If you want a little more, you might just push a little more into your feet and go more onto the side edges. That's it. So we're just going for a different sort of side stretch here from that skating one. It's a little bit lower down. If it feels a bit much, just keep it really small and keep the swaying going instead. And then starting to take our legs a little wider apart. Might even want your feet slightly closer to you if you're lying down. And we're just going to do the knees out to the sides, that sort of knee dip sort of position, but both legs can move. That's it. And then the head can turn in the opposite direction, but it's a rolling rather than a forcing. And the belly's doing a lot of the work here. The sort of core area is like controlling the center and pulling you back in between. That's it. And then come back to the center, bring your legs back in. So we're all at that starting point of about a 90-degree leg, an L-shaped sort of leg, and our feet on the floor, and the arms coming in. Anything behind your head, if you're lying down, take it out. And you might want your feet a little closer to your bum. Going to start with pelvic tilts and then take it more up into an articulated bridge, just pushing more into your feet and rolling down. Keep it low and slow and build your bridge slowly. If you're seated and you'd like a change in focus, put something between your knees or between your legs, like a cushion or a ball. That'll just change that focus. And as you're doing this, just check you're not pushing yourself up and down the mat, sort of sliding up and down. Your head just stays still, looking at the ceiling, and you're just building that bridge and then rolling down again. Now, if you want to add arms to this, think of the arms that we did before. So if you want to keep it soft, go into that L shape again. So the backs of your arms stay on the floor and your hands are just there, but it just gives you a little bit more sort of surface to push into, a bit more resistance. That's it, you feel a bit more in your core. If you want arms either reaching up towards the ceiling or reaching ahead of you if you're seated, you can do that. And if we want a little bit more sort of resistance feeling, go into a stop hand or a fist. Both will work, or even palms together, and they just give you a bit more sensation into your back. That's it, lovely. And then next time you come down, I'm going to give you another option for the shoulders. We can push across, and so a shoulder comes away from the floor and you're pushing over diagonally, could be hands together or hands apart, and then coming back and then push across again. But that's a sort of protraction. It moves the shoulder blade around the side. If you want something softer, keep the arms lower and like a gentle pushing away, like a soft body pushing away, but you're not pushing so hard. It's much more of a gentle rejection to somebody. No shush, shush, rather than a off you go. Gorgeous. And then bring the arms down. We're going to go onto our fronts, but I have different options. So if you don't like going on your front, come to some sort of seated position. If you're going onto your front, you're going to be lying down with your hands underneath your shoulders. It's going to be a little pushy into the arms, this one. So again, if that doesn't work for you, come into seated. If you're seated, two options. So this is one option, no pressure through the arms. Hands come by the side, elbows come in. It's like you've got an invisible wall in front of you, and you're going to give your shoulders a little roll and just pull your head and chest back a little bit like when we do that tap behind the head, and then wriggle, release. There's lots of wriggle release on that one. Other way for seated is to put your hands on your legs. This is going to be more push into the forearms. You're going to come forwards, sliding forwards with that straight back, and your arms are going to sandwich down towards your legs. Your gaze comes down, and then you're going to push yourself up again, but there's more pressure into the arms. If you're lying on your front, you probably don't want a cushion underneath your head. You might have a little one. Your arms are close into your sides. Your elbows are close in. Your legs are long and reaching away. They might even like going a bit wider. And you might even feel like you're almost tipping your bum downwards a little bit. We're going to push gently down into the floor. It's very gentle, more of a lifting of the head and a lifting of the chest, and then going down again. Just little ones first, especially if you are very bendy in your back. I'm just having a little look. Yes. So we're all doing a little bit of back extension. If you're comfortable putting a little more pressure through your hands, it's like they're sliding forwards and your elbows are trying to go down. And as you do that, your chest starts peeling up, but your gaze stays at the floor. I'm just having a little look. If you're seated, remember you've got this option here, or you're doing your little downwards options. That's the one. Everybody take a break, please. Right, if you are seated, just have a little wiggle where you are. If you are lying down, you can relax your arms somewhere and wiggle your bum side to side. Perfect. If you are lying down on your front, now is your time to push yourself back to seated in some way. So it might be you put your hands down where they were and you just travel backwards or forwards. But we're going to do a little resistance along the way. I'm going to do this in 3 different positions. So if you are on your front, push back, but you're not going to settle down. You're sort of pushing back, curving your back and pressing your shins down. And that's your position before you can do a full splat. If you are, that's a technical term. Same thing applies. We show you from the side. So hands here, pulling back gently. So you've got a little bit of pressure going back, pressure going forwards. If your hands are uncomfortable here, you can do it with your hands ahead. Take a breath into that curvy back. And then release, and then it's your full permission to soften it and just make it more comfortable where you are. So it might be if you are on all fours, you then push right back and your head goes down towards the floor or it goes down towards your hands. It might be if you're seated that you in some way go forwards in a way that's comfortable for your spine. Still a little tension pulling back so it's not too floppy. And then everybody come up in whatever position you're in, loads of different positions. Give your shoulders a little shimmy, sort of figure 8, sort of a wriggle. That's it. And maybe the other way. And then take your palms out to the side, scoop up the air, grow even taller than you already are. Have a little wiggle of the bum. Bring your, oh, gorgeous, hands together and into your chest. Yourselves a clap, well done.
Lovely.
We went low and all the places in between, energy and everything else.